Okay. All right, let's get started then. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. It's going to be a LaserCorps guide. Um, pretty strong team composition right now on today's new patch. I think it's 13.9. I'll have to double check after, but I think it is 13.9. So
Yeah,
without
it's
further ado,
13.9.
oh yeah, thanks Uriel. Yeah, so 13.9, pretty good comp right now. Very solid top four, and as we'll talk later into the lesson, I'll show you how to go first place from your top four spot. Okay, so we're just gonna talk about a quick intro on what this trait is, and then go into the early game, mid game, and end game, so you know exactly what to do and when, and then finish off with some final tips to help you out with this trait. So, LaserCorps intro. Basically, why is this better this set or this patch? They now fixed Ionic Spark. So before last patch 13.8, there's a bug. Ionic Spark didn't do any damage, so it's still shredded, but there was no damage. Now they finally fixed the damage part, so that's really good for us, or really good for this trait in general. When you play LaserCorps, it's going to be vertical. So what this means is when you play a vertical comp, or when you play a comp vertically, that just means playing as much of that comp as possible. So for example, if it's LaserCorps, right? Your vertical LaserCorps is trying to play 6. If you're playing vertical Star Guardian, then you're playing 6, maybe even 8. This is opposed to playing not vertically. So for example, not playing vertical LaserCorps would just be playing like 3 LaserCorps and then playing other units around that. But this is not the case. So when you are playing this, you're going to be playing LaserCorps trying to hit 6 ASAP or anything just if possible. LaserCorps really strong early to mid game trait. This is because the trait gives flat damage and it's magic damage. So immediately when you think flat damage, it's like, okay, flat damage, that means it's not scaling. That means it's not percent. So it gives you damage right away or just like that. So really good early to mid game. However, in late game, when there are like a lot more tankier units, there's CC, there's Insta Burst, this falls off. So this is what I mean by LaserCorps is really good, like top four minimum. But there are cases where you can get that first place, maybe second place. So LaserCorps synergizes super well with on-kill effects. So things like Thrill, if you have the early 2 admin where it gives you 400 HP per kill, that also works really well too. This is magic damage that LaserCorps does. So you want to get a Shiv, Static Shiv, or Ionic Spark in order to do more damage. It's countered by CC because you need to be able to attack to use your LaserCorps drone. So if you're CC'd and then killed, it doesn't work like that. And then they just changed it this patch 13.9 where LaserCorps Heart and LaserCorps Soul is only available on 4.2. So on 4.1, definitely make sure that you have LaserCorps on your board to try to tailor your augments to get this LaserCorps Heart or Soul. So we talked about a quick intro. What it actually does is each LaserCorps unit before 4. So just when you just have 3 LaserCorps units, this is like Renekton, Ashe, Yasuo. They'll each have a drone with them. And essentially, when these LaserCorps units attack, and when they get attacked, their combat drone will like shoot a laser at whoever your unit is currently targeting, and it'll do your flat 30 magic damage or whatever magic damage. And then when this user dies, the pilot will, I guess when the user dies, the drone will reassign to the nearest living LaserCorps unit. So that's how it works. And the reason why like it synergizes well with on-kill effects is once, let's say you have like 5 LaserCorps in, that means when 4 LaserCorps or like all of your units except for 1 dies, then that one unit will have like 6 or 7, however many you have -1 drone pilots. So that's like 7 different drones attacking at once. So then you're really easy. It's like a one-man machine. And you're able to kill very easily. So then you can really reset and go infinite from there. Okay, so that's a quick intro of what LaserCorps is. We're going to get into some of the boards now. So as I mentioned, really good early to mid game. So this is a very common example of early game board. You just play like 2 Brawler with Renekton. Renekton is arguably, next to Pantheon, the best one-cost unit, at least for frontline, not for backline. So you want to be itemizing your Renekton early. Sapphire Cape, Warmogs, Titans, anything along this line is fine. Even Dragon Claw, even Redemption, even Bramble Vest. Just slam any. If you have 2 tank item, then slam it on Renekton. And then play 3 LaserCorps plus Brawler. Brawler can either be Lee Sin, Blitzcrank, Vi, anything like this is fine. For Carousel, start Bow. Bow, it can go into so many things. It can go into Shiv, it can go to Giant Slayer, into Runons, into Titans is really good. And slamming Shiv early is really good. If not, then Belts and Chain are fine. As I mentioned, put items on Renekton early and also on Ashe. So Ashe can hold like Shiv. She can hold your Warwick items. So this can be like Titans, it can be Giant Slayer, it could be Runons, Last Whisper, anything like this is fine. And then as mentioned, 3 LaserCorps plus Brawler. And in regards for your 2-1s augments, you can either choose your Renekton, Yasuo, or Ashe ones. Renekton, the hero support augments called the Meek is better than the carry augment in this case. If you are playing LaserCorps, then the carry augment is not as great because you want to be re-rolling Renekton, and you'd want to be playing vertical brawler in that case. So support augment's fine. Yasuo, the hero support augment is fine too because you're not re-rolling Yasuo. So let's Spirit the Exiles, space everyone out, and they'll start with bonus attack speed. And then the last one, this one's pretty important. So Ashe, if you have the hero carry augment for Ashe, this is laser focus. So when she uses her abilities, I think she gains extra 45% attack speed. So a big attack speed steroid. Instead of just playing normally, where you're just like pumping levels, trying to get to that Mordekaiser, trying to get to 5 or 6 LaserCorps, which eventually you still will in this case. If you do have the Ashe hero carry augment, you want to be staying level 4, staying level 5. Collecting your gold, and then re-rolling for 3-star Ashe. And then once you have 3-star Ashe, then you can pump levels from there. So that's only if you have the Ashe hero carry augment laser focus. And then your items are Last Whisper, Giant Slayer +1. This can be like Rage Blade, it could be not Infinity Edge because her spell doesn't crit, so don't fall for that. Death Blade, Runons, Hextech Gunblade, anything like that is fine. Okay, so this is how you play LaserCorps early. Once you finish your early game, so this is counting stage 2 only. Now you're going to stage 3. So on stage 3, you want to be playing some board like this over onto the right. So this means you have your 3 LaserCorps. The best mid-game units are playing around threats. So things like a Bel'Veth, Morgana, Rammus, these are all really good units to just splash in because they're just temporary units, and then later you can exchange them for your Warwicks, for your Mordekaisers, for your Aurelion Souls. So some board like this is fine if you are committed to playing LaserCorps. On 3-2, this is your second augment. You can look for one of these 3. These are the best ones. Portable Forge. This is because you can get Zhonya's. And Zhonya's is really good because it's essentially... It allows your carry to still, or anyone you put it on, allows them to keep attacking for 3 seconds invulnerable. And especially if you have a ton of LaserCorps drones on them, they'll just be able to output insane amounts of damage and stay alive for 3 seconds once they fall below, I think it's either 40% or 60%. So that's really good. Well, that's like one of the best items in LaserCorps. If not, some sort of like healing augments with Thrill the Hunt. I already explained why that's good. And second win. Also, Exiles are good as well, and that pairs really well with the Yasuo augment if you have that. So those are some good hero augments or just augments to get on 3-2. If you're weak on 3-2, so you still have 1 cost units, then you can actually roll a bet on 5 first to get Renekton and Ashe. If not, if you already have them, and you're just trying to 2-star your Yasuo or look for threats, then on 3-2, always go level 6, and then roll down for Yasuo 2 or threats. And then as I mentioned...
5 cash out, by the way.
Nice, good job. For level 6 board, splash in threats, so this is like Morgana, Rammus, Bel'Veth, and your Bel'Veth can hold your Warwick items. Shiv on Morgana is really good. I'll mention this again later, but basically Morgana's ability is anything she touches or any damage she deals, it sunders and shreds. So this works with Shiv. When Morgana procs Shiv, normally the enemy, when you're hit by static Shiv, your magic resist is just lowered, so that's shred. But because it's Morgana, she will also sunder. So when she procs static Shiv, whoever is hit by Shiv will not only have their magic resist lowered, they'll also have their armor lower, and you're basically just shredding and sundering almost all the enemy team. So Shiv on Morgana is a lot better. Well, she's the best Shiv user out of everyone in terms of just like lowering resistances. So make sure...
Unless they fixed it, it works with Hurricane too, because one time I ended up with 2 Hurricanes, and I had them on Morgana, and she was just, their entire team was constantly sundered and shredded.
Yeah, it works with Hurricane as well. Thanks for mentioning that. Also works with Sunfire Cape and Spark, but you will not really be using Sunfire Cape on Spark on Morgana. Okay, so let's keep going. And then we're going to move on to the late game board. So late game, I categorize as stage 4 plus. Let's change color, stage 4 plus. This is one of your like early late game boards. So what I mean by this is like early stage 4, late stage 4, not your finalized one, but this is what you'd be playing on level 8. So essentially you would have 5 LaserCorps. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to be trying to get Mordekaiser ASAP. And then you actually just have filler units. So a common case is you just play extra ballers and Garen for defender. But ideally, you want to try to have 6 LaserCorps. This can be either getting Toma traits from Ancient Archives, just high rolling off of PvE, or getting Laser +1 on your 4-2 augment. If it is, there are certain cases where it's guaranteed to be a hero augment. I'll show how to predict it after, or like how to see it. But for example, I think if it's like prismatic gold or something, then the third augment will always be hero augments, and the third hero augments are always either 3, 4, or 5 cost. So there's a good chance that it's going to be 5 cost. So you can almost see like, oh, I'm going to be getting a 5 cost hero augment, tailor my board to have LaserCorps, and then you can get Mordekaiser. And then if you get your Mordekaiser on your hero augment, try to get the support augments. It's a lot better than the carry augment, which just gives them HP or AP every 5 seconds. It's not that good. So try to go for the Mordekaiser support augment. It'll shred and sunder the entire enemy team. And most importantly, you get that Mordekaiser, and every spike from 4 to 5, 5 to 6 LaserCorps is huge. As I mentioned, the last 3 units, 1, 2, 3, the non-LaserCorps are just exchangeable. They can be exchanged for Aurelian Soul if you don't have healing reduction, or just any 5 cost legendaries. So this is what you're mostly going to be playing on level 8. Once you've hit all of your core units, so this means your Warwick 2-star, you're not going to be getting 2-star Mordekaiser very easily, so don't worry about that. Maybe like 2-star Garen, and then generally 2-star your rest of your units. Then you can start to go level 6, or level 9, sorry. Then you can start to go level 9. The other late game variant is, let's say that the enemy is really front to back. They have like ranged carries in the corners that they're protecting with really, really beefy front lines. You may opt to play the hacker variant instead, which is very simple, very, very simple. It's just 5 LaserCorps and 3 hackers. Your 5 LaserCorps units, Ashe, Yasuo, Renekton, Warwick, and Mordekaiser. These 5 you just play. And then the 3 hackers are Pyke, Shen, and LeBlanc. Play the 3 hackers, play the 5 LaserCorps, and you basically each hacker in. So you send your Warwick to the back using the hacker room, and then you just instant kill the enemy carry, and then the rest of your team just swipes up the tanks. This is really good. And sorry, these should not be here. Okay, so the final game boards, this is what it'll look like. So essentially at the start, I mentioned, okay, LaserCorps, it's a top 4 composition. However, there are some cases where you are able to get that top 1, maybe even top 2 if someone else is high rolling very hard. And this is it. So essentially what you want to do is try to get 6 LaserCorps. Remember that +1 from either an augment or Toma traits, something like that. Once you have 6 LaserCorps, and then your 2-star legendaries. So these 2-star legendaries, Urgot, Fiddlesticks, Janna 2 if it's like windy, or even if it's rainy, I think that's fine. Sunny is fine as well. To be honest, Janna is just a good unit. However, I normally just play Janna 2. If you just have Janna 1, it's better just play a different Urgot or a different Fiddlesticks. And then if you need healing, you play Aurelian Soul. Or sorry, not healing. You need healing debuff or healing reduction, then play Aurelian Soul as well. Okay, so that's essentially how you play your early, mid, and late game boards. I will say, with the addition of LaserCorps Heart and Soul only being able to be seen on 4-2, I would not commit LaserCorps from the start. It's still fine to play early to mid game. However, in the mid game, if you do have a different angle where you could just play threats and like Garen frontline or Mech Garen frontline, something like that, I would definitely swap, because you're not guaranteed to hit LaserCorps on 4-2. You're also not guaranteed to see Mordekaiser. So if you are, if it's fine to play early and like the start of the mid game. However, I would not commit LaserCorps right from the start with the new changes. Okay, so some final tips. The first one, I kind of mentioned this already. So basically what LaserCorps does, it just tempos you from your early to mid game. It's a really strong trait, and you compensate for the weak late game by relying on 2-star legendaries. If you have once you have reached 4 plus LaserCorps, so once you hit 4, that means that all units on your board get a LaserCorps drone. It's no longer just the LaserCorps units, so this is really big. Then this means you can start playing carries that are not actually LaserCorps, and they'll still get all the benefits that a LaserCorps unit has. So what this means is once you have 4 plus LaserCorps, you play Belveth mid-game. Belveth hold your Warwick items, so this is like Titans, Last Whisper, Gunblade, Runons, anything like this is fine. And she's a great carry. Other ones, Edge and Knight, Zhonya's are best in slot items on carries just because of the LaserCorps interaction. You'll still be able to shoot using like all your drone pilots as you're invulnerable. And then like the last one, as I already mentioned, Morgana playing your mid game and adding Shiv on her. It will shred and slender all enemies hit by Shiv, and it's extremely good to lower the enemy's defenses and deal tons of damage to them. So that has been everything for the LaserCorps guide. I hope you learned something from today's class. Now you know how to play the early, mid, and late games of LaserCorps, and final tips to help you get that first place.